Let me ask you this. Do you think The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is charismatic? It's getting to the point now that people are talking about him to the level beyond what Bill Clinton was in his prime. So my buddy Tripp asked me to put this video together breaking down 3 things that he does really well to always maintain that charismatic aura, because as we know, charisma is something that you can copy. It's not like you're born with it or you're not. And by the way, I have a channel called the Charisma Matrix. If you want to subscribe to that and join the party, you can click right here to do so, or click the link in the description below. So in this first scene, what I want you to notice is his buddy and his business partner is getting kind of cold feet about the direction that they're taking the business. They're going to make a big move and there's a lot of risk involved. So let's watch how it goes, and let's watch how The Rock convinces him that it is in his best interest and a good move to continue with that.
Should we be doing this, Spence?
Doing what?
This, fucking any of this, poking the bear. I mean, look at all the stress it's causing both of us.
All right, stop it right there. So what would most people do in this instance? Their buddy's getting cold feet. They're gonna pepper them with logical reasons and explanations to try to convince them it's the right thing to do. They're gonna come up, oh no, we got the financing in place. There's a good chance this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. That works sometimes, but it's not effective as his first strategy that you're gonna see him employ. So let's watch and see what he does right now.
Look at all the stress it's causing both of us.
Ever tell you the story about my dad? My dad realized in that moment he could have been that guy sitting behind that desk. So when you ask me why I want to do this, my answer is because I know what guy I want to be. What about you?
I want to be the guy.
The fucking guy.
Yeah, the fucking guy.
Then let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's get the fuck
All right, so what did he do? He told a story that convinced his buddy and his colleague. Why is that more powerful than logic? Because you're addressing someone who is emotional on an emotional level. When you're worked up emotionally and you're up here, it doesn't matter how much logic you're hitting someone with, because they can't access that part of their brain when the emotion is running hot, because the emotion is on top of the logical brain. So the way to be effective and to get through to people who are emotional, which is very important to be able to do, because charismatic people need to be able to be convincing and have authority, have a strong presence and persuasion in these very challenging environments, as when someone is really worked up, whether distraught or anxious. So he hits him at the level that he's at with a story that brings emotion. He puts himself in the story and he relays exactly what he's trying to do and convinces him to do so. So to wrap up step number 1, if you can ever tell or convince or make your point by telling a story rather than facts, always do so. All right, I love the second one because so few people understand this. When you react unemotionally or you control the emotions that you give out, you look like you are in such control of everything, of the environment, of yourself, and it communicates an ultra high status, because unfortunately, people who have lower status are naturally going to be more whipsawed emotionally when things happen that they can't control. And what happens typically when people feel like they're out of control and they're emotionally engaged? Their tonality gets supplicated. They go up, they start sounding even weaker and weaker. People hear that and then they treat them like that. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling loop. So in this scene, The Rock gets exposed for trying to done something behind one of his investors' back. And when the investor confronts him and says, you know, basically, I know what you're doing, notice what The Rock does when he's exposed. And notice that most people would take on a really supplicative tone. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. If I would have known, it would have done this. What that does is it gives more fuel, and this is all on a subconscious level, but it gives more fuel to the person you're talking to come down and scorn you and hang on that you're right, you shouldn't have done that, that was wrong. Watch what he does, and then watch the reaction it evokes from the guy who could have continued coming down on him, but watch what he does instead.
I can relate to that one.
Some would say you have it coming, though. Word is you've been sniffing in the tall weeds with a short snout.
I'm not quite too sure what that even
I've
means.
never heard that one, no. Spencer, if you don't want to admit what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Boss man, I'm not afraid to talk about anything. I just thought that kind of transparency between you and I would put you in an awkward position with the league.
Let me worry about what position I'm in.
Fine. It's true. I'm guilty of sniffing in the tall weeds.
with short snout.
I want to bring a team to Vegas.
Reaching for the brass ring, huh?
Well, admittedly, it's a little
Okay,
outside
so what
of my
did you see?
expertise, but yes.
No change in tone, no change in voice. You're right. I was talking to another group. I was thinking this, and this. If you were to not listen to the words, you would have no idea that he was just exposed for doing something that he shouldn't have done and that would likely anger the guy he's talking to. So even though he acknowledged it and says, yes, I was doing that, I should have let you know, his tone is staying consistent. So how does the other guy react? He doesn't get mad. He doesn't make a big deal out of it. They just keep talking man to man. So what you need to realize in this one is when you have control over your emotions and you don't get emotionally reactive, even when times are stressful, maybe you're exposed for doing something you shouldn't have. Maybe someone says something you don't have a great answer for. Any time that you're kind of thrown on tilt, when you're able to maintain that even keel emotional level, that's basically going to communicate to everyone else that it's not a big deal, as opposed to what most people do. Start rationalizing in a supplicative tone, in the little boy tone. No, I'm sorry, I should know this question. Let me get right back to you about that, as opposed to, I don't have the answer to that question just yet, but I'll be happy to get back to you with it. It's going to keep people in the mentality. I talk about the social interaction equilibrium, where you want the person you're talking to never to feel like they're higher than you on a social value level, because then they just are going to start treating you disrespectfully. They're not going to value your opinions. You're going to have no persuasion with them. So basically, when you're able to keep a nice, even keel tone, you're going to keep that interaction equilibrium in your favor. And when things aren't going your way, it's going to keep things nice and even so things don't completely start falling apart for you. The Rock also has charm with women. And one of the things that men do that is attractive to women that most men feel like wouldn't be and they're scared to do is have boundaries. And that's not just a man to woman relationship, that's everyone. When people know you have certain boundaries that you won't cross, they're not going to continually test you and push you. So in this scene, his girlfriend is starting to take over the bathroom with her makeup and her other things. And I want you to notice, he draws the line and he says that that's not okay, but how does he do it and what does this communicate? Let's watch a scene and we'll talk about it right after.
Morning, sailor.
Good morning, hon. Thank you. I hope so, baby. Listen, I gotta tell you, in less than a week, you've completely rearranged my kitchen.
Oh, you tried finding cereal in that cupboard.
Look at my bathroom counter. It looks like the makeup counter at Sephora after a massive fucking earthquake.
Okay, how does he do it? He's laughing, he's kind of jovial, but he's serious at the same time. So he's drawing a line, like a lot of guys would think, oh, I don't want her to be mad. I don't want to look like a jerk. Well, no, he's sharing his bathroom and it sounds like he wants half of that sink to himself without her stuff over there. So he says to her in a jovial, good-natured way, this is the boundary, we can't cross this. That's actually something that women and other people respect when you do, because you show you have your own limits. You show that you're living by your own limits and your own rules and the boundaries you've established. And just because someone else comes into your life, you're not all of a sudden going to be changing them. What does that communicate to the other person, or her, for instance? He's like, oh, that's okay. I told you I want my half of the sink, but you can take it all. That's not what she wants, but that's what a lot of guys think that she wants. That's the wet rag. That's the guy that'll do anything. That's when the relationship starts to tilt and the woman loses respect for the guy because he doesn't have his own boundaries. It's very sad to see guys who think they're doing the right thing. They think, oh, well, she'll be happier. She'll like me more if I let her have the whole sink, right? Because that's what she wants. No, women want a guy who has a backbone, who will stand up when they're doing things that they know is not what he wants. That just kind of reaffirms your manliness and your strength. Now that you've seen this video, I'd suggest you click here to watch this other video from Tripp. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, click here to do so. Once again, my name is Baron Cruz, and I'll talk to you soon.